The Vertimax med ball jump, once again, is just another explosive exercise where the players force a squat. This time we put a 10 to 16 pound med ball in their hand. Chris, he used a 10-pound med ball, and he's forced to once again squat and explode up, working on his core strength, his balance, and his overall athletic ability. What the athlete would do is sit back again with his feet at hip width, squat back, sitting back on the butt, once again exploding up with the ball at chest level. Once he reaches up to the height of his jump, he wants to extend his hand, exploding with the ball up as high as he can, working on his athletic movement, core strength, and balance. With that one, once again, we want to do 8 to 10 reps, 3 to 4 sets with a 45-second rest in between.
What's up? It's Richard Boda with Six Magazine. We got Travelle Gaines, NFL performance trainer to the stars. What's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. Glad to be on the shindig with you.
Tell people about some of the NFL athletes you've trained and some of the athletes you recently trained who are working out at the combine.
Some of the guys that I've trained, over the last few years, over 200 current NFL guys, guys like Reggie Bush, Marshawn Lynch, Marcus Colston, some of the guys that's been in our program. Currently at the combine, we got a bunch of kids between our Atlanta and our Los Angeles location. Stephon Johnson, Ryan Matthews, Donovan Warren, Dominique Franks, Rashad Jones, Lamar Houston, Brian Price. And we got a bunch of players who should do very well. I'm at the combine in the draft.
Cool. Talk about the relationships that trainers have with NCAA strength coaches. There's like a bit of tension that happens sometimes when players opt to go with the NFL trainer instead of training with their strength coach that they've been with for 3 or 5 years in preparation for the draft. Talk about that relationship.
You know what? That's funny because it depends on the school. Like I remember when I was at LSU, when the kids were done playing there, we encouraged them to go away to go prepare with the NFL style performance coach to get them ready for the draft and the combine. Some schools take it personal. They feel that if a kid has been there for 3 to 5 years, they want them to stay and continue to grow. And hold on one second.
All right.
So they said they feel they want them kids to stay and continue to grow and to do stuff like that. But I think that I never took it personal, and I think that the biggest thing is just you don't need the kids got to go. It all depends on the kid and it depends on the program. Oklahoma State is a program that has a problem with it. I don't think Schmidt at Oklahoma has a problem with it too much. It just depends on the program. It depends on the organization, but. Shoot, it just depends on the school. It depends on the kid. Sometimes the kids need to go be in different structures and different environments.
You in Indianapolis right now. They get heights and they interviews 2 days ago, heights and measurements yesterday, and they about to start the workouts tomorrow. Tell me what the players are going through right now, man. Like just kind of what's their mentality like right now?
You could probably imagine. It's probably a lot of anxiety. It's they're probably going through a lot of stuff right now. But I think that. It just depends on the kid. Everybody has a different. Some kids are probably real excited right now. Some kids are probably real nervous. It just depends on the kid, how mentally tough they are. So it's just a case-by-case situation. We try to do a good job of making all of our kids feel relaxed and feel safe and let them know they've been doing this for most of them since they were in high school or middle school. So, it just depends on the kid.
Now, flip that. What's going through the trainer's mind? Like, how do you feel? You got about 10, 12 plus athletes right now about to work out and essentially solicit where they're going to go in the draft, and that's a lot of money at stake. How are you feeling right now?
You know what? I think the thing that we ask our kids before they go there when we have an exit interview with them is, have we done everything possible for them to be prepared for them to go to Indianapolis? And 100% of the times the kids say yeah. So as long as we feel in our heart, their agents feel in their heart, and the kids feel in their heart that we've done everything that we can for the kids, I'm totally fine with it. You get some kids who rise to the challenge and perform very well in the dome. You get some kids who pitch down their leg and don't do very well. I'm allowed to say that on. I'm allowed to say that.
No, I don't care. You're good.
Okay, cool. So it just really just depends on the kid. So of course a lot of anxiety because the way I feed my family. And my whole livelihood depends on 20-year-old kids, and what they do.
Cool, cool. Now, like, you got 20 kids working out right now. You train over 200 NFL athletes, the Reggie Bushes, Chris Johnsons, Marshawn Lynch. Who's the illest workout warrior that you've had?
I think it's a tie. Well, it's a couple ties. Reggie Bush, just because he's just so determined, he's so focused, and he always stays after and does a lot of extra by himself. And then he always has a pretty good girl who comes in and watches him work out. Then Chris, CJ, who you already have interviewed already. CJ, he works really, really hard, man, and he's so determined and focused to be better. And he's a great guy. And then, of all people, probably Bob Sanders.
Really?
Bob was out there with us. Bob was just recently moved out there with me to California to do all his rehab and his training. So I've worked with Bob the last 3 years. So Bobby works hard, man, and he's just such a great kid and so intense, and he challenges you every day, to make him better. So probably those three guys.
How's his rehab going?
It's going fine. I think he was a little nervous on what the Colts were going to do to him because I think he's due. I think 7.5 this year from the Colts, and he's gonna be ready to go, man. You got to think about 2 years ago, he was the NFL Player of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
So, he'll be fine. He had two tough injuries in '08 and '09, but he'll be back for 2010.
Okay. Now there's so much emphasis put on these combine workouts and these pro day workouts. And my question to you is, do they really translate to how a player is going to play on the field? Like, have you ever seen a guy who's just a stud working out, but they never translated? And also the flip side of that, have you seen a guy where you kind of had to look twice at him, like, man, I don't know if he's going to make it, and he just blew up in the league?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think you see it every year. I think you see. I hate to bring it up, because that's first he's a great kid, but Darius Hayward Bay, he went out there last year and ran the 4.30 or 4.31, whatever he ran, and man, I don't think he caught a ball this year. If he did, it probably was on accident.
And part of that is because he didn't have a good quarterback throwing on the ball. And I'm gonna just put that out there
Uh,
because the work
I don't
ethic.
know. I don't know about all that, but last time I checked, Jamarcus Russell is a phenomenal quarterback.
My bad.
But
It's coming from, I forgot I'm talking to an LSU guy here. Forgot about
yeah,
that.
it's cool, but I don't know. Then a lot of times you see kids who, like the Johnny Knox kid, I think who went out there a year ago or a couple combines ago and went and ran really well, performed really well in all his drills, and ended up having a good rookie year. And Pierre Carson, who also did the same thing. So a lot of times you see kids that show up at the combine you never heard of in your life, and they run a good 40, they do good in all their drills, and they're able to do really well in their position drills. They do very well, and then sometimes you see kids that just don't do that good. So it just depends. It just depends on everything.
Okay, being a performance trainer, like you deal with mostly college and NFL players, but just kind of to advise. I don't know if you deal with high school kids, but just what's some advice you can offer them that they like to get a scholarship or even play pro ball? Like, should they start lifting weights really early? Should they let their bodies develop? Like, what are some common mistakes, and what's some advice you could offer to some high school kids as far as like working out to prepare themselves for that next level?
Well, I think for high school kids, I think it just all depends on the kid itself. I think when the kid is ready to take their performance to the next level, that's when I think their parents should provide them with the resources possible. A lot of times it's coming down from the parent. The parent wants it more for the kid a lot of times than the kid. So in a situation where you have a kid that's ready to take it up a notch, I will start with just doing simple core balance and reactive drills. Doing some resistance stuff. Resistance stuff doesn't necessarily mean lifting weights. Um, Doing some simple push-ups, body weighted squats, lateral lunges, just doing things to put your body in a position where it's forced to strain and work hard. That could be just more than enough for just a high school kid, and then gradually put some weights in. But until they have their technique down pat, it is pointless to have a kid just doing a lot of heavy lifting.
Hmm. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of people like honestly stunt their growth, get injured just because they start
Yeah,
lifting way too early. Like, and Herschel Walker didn't have a problem because he didn't lift weights. He just did the stuff you mentioned, just a lot of just core workouts, and he was perfectly fine.
see, Richard, I don't necessarily think that lifting weights early has anything of stunning your growth or getting hurt. That the stuff that you're probably talking about are people that they were they were lifting wrong.
Mm-hmm.
In Eastern Europe, man, some of the strongest people in the world, they start lifting weights at 6, 7 years old. Those Eastern Europeans, man, they're explosive. You're talking about guys, they look like kangaroos, 45, 50-inch vertical jumps. You know what I'm saying? They're
Dang.
doing plyometric and liftings at a very young age. So, that's I can't agree with that statement you said. That's just coming from just people just doing bad technique and,
Mm-hmm.
and, and and losing, using their lower back and just not lifting correctly or properly. So anytime you do, it's anybody, you in the
Mm-hmm.
best shape in the world. If you go and pick up a refrigerator wrong, you're going to hurt your back. So it just depends on the technique and the things that you're using.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, I learned something today, man. You being a New Orleans cat, man. What you think of that Saints Super Bowl?
Greatest thing in the world, greatest thing for the city. It was probably one of the proudest moments of my life. I think there's 3 times I ever was emotional over a sporting event, and that was definitely one of them. So, you know, um, not necessarily. I think that honestly, what people got to understand that New Orleans is probably the only city in America that has its own symbol in the Florida Lee, and it has its own culture. And instantly, when you see somebody or hear somebody from New Orleans, you can instantly know where they're at. And then I think that just to have the team win after so many years of heartache, so many years. Yeah, you even got my phone. Say that just just so many years of heartache and just so many years of bad things happening in that city to finally have a championship and something as a winner in the murder capital of America and the crime capital of America is an honor. And I don't think the party still hasn't stopped yet on Bourbon Street.
Cool, cool, cool. When combine's over, man, what you got planned for the rest of 2010 as far as your
Well, I got Kalin Azabuki will be there on Monday with me, guard from the Warriors to start his rehab. We got 20 something NFL athletes are there. We'll have man, we got a great thing going. We got a merger with a facility in Atlanta. We're going to really put a lot of focus on getting that going. That's a huge market there. We got a facility getting ready to open up in Orange County. I mean, a lot of stuff is set to come. I'm just really excited and blessed and just honored to have just great people around me. So I just think that this is going to continue to grow and right now it's the tip of the iceberg, man.
cool, cool, cool. When I talked to you in the past, you said when you first started, like you just wanted, if you could just get 6 prime athletes, you'd be
Yeah.
happy. And that 6 is ballooned to 200. What are some goals that you have that you still like to accomplish?
Well, you know what the funny part is I really think I haven't accomplished nothing. That's why I always think it's an honor. Like when there's a guy like you called me and say, "Hey, I want to put you in my magazine." So, um, I mean, I don't really know. I just think once till we get to the point to where the brand and the workouts are talked about, like how people talk about Michael Jordan. Like when people compare everything to Michael Jordan in basketball, or people compare running backs to Jim Brown. I want people to complain training and trainers to the stuff that we're doing. And notice I never say me, I always say we because it's a team of whole people that helps build this up. I've never walked around like I know everything, but I've always surrounded myself around people that know a lot of stuff and bring a lot to the table. So until it's a household name, until your mom knows, oh, Travelle, oh yeah, I know about that. That's when I think I'll finally be happy. But I still think I'm sure I'll finally find something at that point then.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, speaking of that, tell us a little bit of info about your website and where people can go to get more info on what you do.
They go to www.makegains.com and pretty much that's it.
Cool, cool, cool. Travelle Gaines, training to the NFL athletes, some of the best. He's got 200, trained over 200 so far. He's got 20 at the combine right now, who are going to do very, very well. Got some facilities opening up all over the place. He's helping out Bob Sanders, Kalina Azabuki with Warrior in the NBA, Golden State Warriors. He's doing a lot of big things. Appreciate your time today, man. Have a good one.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Peace.